How we doing, team? And welcome to a brand new episode of the Simply Podcast, a very special episode of the podcast indeed. I am joined by not just one, two guests on the podcast. I kind of ran out what I was going to say there, but I have the amazing Staton15 co-hosting with me today, and a special guest, Willjeffs, who is our... I mean, I don't even know what I would call
conspiracy man.
Conspiracy man. Conspiracy man.
Yeah.
I was going to say like conspiracy expert or something like that, but I don't know necessarily if you would describe yourself as a conspiracy expert.
Nah, some people call me an idiot. Some people, believe them, but just conspiracies for you.
I know your chat definitely believe a lot of them. I know Fergus in particular.
Oh yes.
I mean, it's taking like 30 seconds for me to mention Fergus on the podcast again. He's going to be buzzing.
I'll tell you conspiracies about him. He's 4-year-old, pretends to be 16. There you go.
That looks worse for you, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, actually, that sounds pretty bad. Yeah, forget that one.
Oh, dear. Well, that's one way to start a podcast. Team, if you wanted to check out these guys will have the links in the description below if you're watching on YouTube. If you are listening to this on Spotify or any of the other podcast devices, places, make sure you drop the follow on the podcast as well. If you can't tell, it's been a while since I've done one of these, so I'm a bit shaking the rust off. So yeah, bear with us, but we've got lots of exciting stuff coming up. There's going to be a lot of kind of questionable topics coming up that Will is going to try and convince me and James on. I mean, I don't know about you, James, but I am, when it comes to these kind of theories, I am really not very much. I'm a hard person to convince.
See, I think on the other hand, if someone can sell it to me well and like really, really sell it to me, I think I can probably like buy it. But majority of the time, I'm the same as you. I'm a bit like, I don't know. So Will, you
I'm the same. Like,
go on.
I don't. All these flat earthers, I think they're absolutely mental.
Oh, that's bollocks. Yeah, that's bollocks.
So I like to focus on facts and just have an open mind. Like, if I talk about pyramids, I'm not saying they're built by aliens. I'm just saying there might have been
something fishy's gone on. Yeah.
Oh jeez, oh man, I like, just for clarity, the team, you won't see these images just yet, but they'll come up throughout the podcast, particularly if you're watching this on YouTube. You've got Will sent us a load of images to topic this podcast, and some of them are wild. but we'll get into them as we go. But yes, so well, obviously, this is kind of us focused on you trying to convince us that these are real. These are not just a conspiracy; they're actual fact.
Based on facts.
Based on facts. So
yeah.
You know what? Hit us with your first conspiracy theory.
The first conspiracy theory. So I thought a lot of football fans are gonna be watching this and listening to this.
Right.
So I thought I'd talk about steroids in football. So which two teams do you think in the world are on steroids? Would you say?
Probably the ones that win everything. So the likes of Man City, and I've heard a lot.
Liverpool, Man City.
I would say Liverpool, Man City. Those are the ones that that spring to mind.
Okay. So have you heard about that Liverpool asthma?
I have.
Conspiracy?
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that, if I'm being honest.
So
what is it?
So basically, there was an insider that revealed that 22 out of the 35 players in Liverpool's 2021 squad have asthma. And 10% of the population, on average, has asthma. And this is 63%. So we're talking first team subs, all have asthma.
Is that
a coincidence, or
is this they've joined Liverpool already knowing they have asthma, or can you develop asthma? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
You can develop it. Yeah.
Develop it. Yeah.
Ooh.
So they say that asthma is more common in athletes, but it's more like 20%, but 63% in the Liverpool team. You got to think, it's a bit weird. It's a little bit odd.
Yeah, because it's like there's a certain drug that is banned for people that are there. Yeah,
I've got that name of the drug.
Oh, go for it, mate. Go for it.
So if you're diagnosed with asthma, clubs can legally describe the medication called salbutamol. and this substance relaxes the muscles, which makes it easier for oxygen to get to the muscles, and therefore you have more fuel to the muscles. So you see, like Jurgen Klopp's high press. How does he get them to high press all the time for like 60 games a season? Is it because of the training regime, or is it because there's something else about it, such as this? Ooh,
we're getting spicy now. We're getting spicy.
yeah.
These are the sort of things where like, I need to get this information. That's what will sell me on it. This is exactly what.
So, yeah, in 2010, this substance was added to the World Doping Agency list as a banned substance. And other examples of this include Chris Froome in 2017 was discovered using this. And Bradley Wiggins, when he won the Tour de France, also was on this substance and also was diagnosed with asthma. Now, that's just a bit fishy to me. I don't know what you boys think, but...
No, I agree with you. No, it's a bit fishy, it is. So basically, they've all got asthma, so they can all... So every single Liverpool player is on that drug or not?
So 22 of them are legally allowed to use that drug.
And so they probably are using
their
it.
Performance. Yeah.
See, I'm so speculative of this because I'm like, where's this? Like, is this, how reliable is this information coming from Liverpool? This is where I'm like, this is where I lose it a bit.
Yeah, it was an insider from the Liverpool camp leaked it to a journalist, and they put the information out basically.
Yeah.
So, is it 100% reliable? Probably not. But is it reliable? I'd probably. You know, it's plausible.
I mean, on the facts that this is a drug that like people with asthma can take if they're in a professional sport, that I'm not questioning in any way at all. I don't know necessarily 63% of Liverpool side have asthma to have this, but like we're not. I'm not saying that. Obviously, the fact there's definitely going to be some people in that squad that have it, because obviously, as they say, like all rumors are founded in something. Like it there's gonna be some element of this which has got some truth to it. I'm just speculative about the actual source and whether or not this is Jimmy that's just wanted to make a few bucks, you know. You know,
But do you see a difference in today's football to football 10 years ago?
I mean,
and do you put that all down to training, or do you put that down to
absolutely? But technology is also just like massively improved. Like recovery techniques are massively improved. You know, we've got the cryo labs and all sorts that we didn't have so long ago. Beforehand, it was only ice baths you take. Now you've got these like special leg machines and that you see like Neymar and that sitting playing the PlayStation with. You know, it's all different, all improved and significantly more than what it was like kind of 10 or so years ago.
But if they're spending that much money on improving recovery and fitness, are you not convinced that, or maybe could think that they do other stuff that they could spend money on to improve, to give them the advantage, considering how much money's in football?
What, another substance?
Like that's an advantage over other teams. So you're talking about ice baths being an advantage and all the advanced technology, but also this substance. Yeah. If other teams don't know about it and they've got it, do you think teams would use it? Because I think they would.
Of course they would, yeah.
Teams would.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. If there's a loophole there to be had, teams are going to take advantage of it. It's not. I wouldn't class it as cheating. It's just using the rules well.
Cheating.
Yeah, you know, it's. I mean, obviously, not every club's got the legal team and stuff like that to make sure that this is all perfectly legit. I mean, I saw the picture of what was it, the Birmingham players in a was it Fisher Price tub?
I don't think Birmingham are using it.
Yeah, so you see you comments saying that they were using a Fisher Price tub or something like that for their ice baths.
Yeah, they were using bins in their pre-season as ice baths.
Oh,
Jesus Christ! That's dollar level.
We haven't got any money. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
out of curiosity, how do they take it? Is it injected? Is it a tablet? Like, what is it?
So it is an injection, but there's also ways of like blood infusion. So it's been found that you can just like take blood samples from someone and then put it back in at a certain time when it's oxidized.
That seems.
I've also got some cold hard facts as well.
Cold hard facts! I'll have a go and hit us with these cold hard facts.
The other team that we said was Man City.
Yeah.
Do you know about Pep Guardiola's steroid abuse?
No.
No.
So, he failed a drugs test after a Serie A match against Ria Senza on 21st of October, where they found traces of nandrolone. Okay, and he got done for this twice in his playing career in 2001. This is an anabolic steroid to treat illnesses and injuries, allows faster recovery, increases muscle growth, strength, and aggressiveness. All things that you'd say you'd see in a Man City squad.
It's...
And also, I sent a picture of Goretzka, if you haven't seen him.
Yeah, I'll put it up on the screen now.
Also, a number of Bayern Munich players. And who was the manager of Bayern Munich a few years ago?
Yeah, but Pep Guardiola.
Do you think Pep Guardiola might have had an influence on their recovery?
I mean, that picture is mad. Like, of Goretzka.
Yeah.
Like, you know. Like...
I'm not saying it's not naturally attainable, because as a personal trainer, like, you can get that, but in the amount of time he's done it.
Yeah. The percentage of body fat and stuff that he must have in that picture kind of thing is, like... Because I know, like, for, like, some TV shows and stuff like that, like, they have to also go through, like, dehydration and stuff like that, and, like, be miserable to have their muscles showing to that degree. It's it's his arms in particular are the biggest thing. Like, they are mad.
They're a lot bigger, and they're full as well, so you'd expect to be depleted after a game, but they're full. And if you think, if Guardiola's done this as a player and he's been brought up in this environment, why would he not do that as a manager? He doesn't see anything wrong with it, obviously. He's been done twice.
Yeah, like you go.
I was going to say, the only thing that would not make me believe these things, though, is the fact that they are regularly drug tested, though, aren't they? Like random spot checks as well.
So stating that is right. But there's such things as masking agents. So you can just have them, and then it hides it from any test. So people use it in bodybuilding competitions or for drug tests. So
that I didn't know.
So to be fair, they could just be doing that, which could hide it.
I'm still on the edge. I don't know if I fully believe it.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah,
because you've seen footballers such as, I don't know.
Yeah, I remember, like, I was speaking to a footballer, a retired footballer, a while ago, and he was talking about, like, kind of the drug tests and stuff like that, that they get, and they're really weird as well. Like, they've got to watch you pee into a cup. Like, they actually had to physically see it happen.
Wow.
It's bizarre. That something like that is actually, like, that happens. Because I thought it was always maybe an injection or something. No, you go into a bathroom stall, they got to watch you pee into a cup.
Yeah.
He just says it's so awkward. But
cold day.
The fact your
tube's too big.
Oh, sick, man. Yeah, well, you know what? That very well could happen. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm still on the edge. I'm being honest with this. Well, you haven't.
That's all right. I'm not here to convince you. I'm just here to open your mind and just tell you some information.
Yeah, open your mind.
You want to look into it further and go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember this one taking TikToks by storm at one point when like people were talking about it heavily. I don't think they ever actually questioned Liverpool out of it. Or,
Liverpool never said anything about it, which
I don't know. But I don't know if they were directly questioned about it in press conferences.
Makes me think maybe they just didn't see it as a problem, or they didn't want to. But
it's a hard one as well because, obviously, a lot of journalists that go into these clubs, if they ask questions are a disrespectful nature, they can be removed and not be allowed back in. So it's a questionable one on that. Like if someone would ask it, I don't know. It's I'm not convinced, but I don't know. What about you, James?
No, I'm not fully sold on it. Just because I don't know. I think when someone's cheating, they always find it out eventually. Always. So maybe they just haven't found out yet. Maybe we could be sat in 3 years' time and something does come out about it. But at the moment, yeah, it's a no from me.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I appreciate you just listening to what I've got to say.
Yeah.
But
most people just tell me to fuck off. So
yeah, weirdo.
Yeah,
get a real life.
Has he got an agenda against Liverpool?
No, I've got one against. You can put this as a clip. So I just round up by saying this one because this one blew my mind.
Right.
So Leicester City, when they won the league, Leicester City players in 2016 in their season that they won the league, a numerous amount of players visited a doctor, which has spoken out about this, called Dr. Mark Boner. Bit of an unfortunate last name. And he gave an undercover interview saying he got banned substances to 150 top athletes in that year. Is that the reason why Leicester won the league?
Is that in the Premier League or is that just
in
150
sport? Elite top athletes,
right, okay.
Just in any sport.
Yeah,
It makes you think.
Yeah, it does make you
Leicester.
think. It does. I mean, in that season, a lot of teams did underperform, and a lot of Leicester's games were all won by like one goal most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But
the same 11 playing most of the games as well.
I mean, if I was to pick a player from that I maybe would suggest, maybe that, like, I could see that player. I'm thinking Vardy, but
they were very counter-attacking football, though, weren't they? Like, they sat back and countered. Like, they weren't full on pressing like every game. It was like sit back, counter, and then
that's true.
And then Jamie Vardy with his hunter on, just running through the middle and scoring. What a mad season that was. But yeah, no, I'm not fully convinced, but it is interesting information. It is interesting information on that one. It's it does make you think, but yeah, I'll be honest with you, I probably won't be going into the season questioning Mohamed Salah.
I don't think Arsenal will take it either. So you'll be all right as well.
Yeah, well, they're definitely not Man United. Right.
Do you want me to go for another one?
Yeah, go for it. Well,
you ready?
Yeah. First of all, Tim, if you what let me know in the comments below what you think. Obviously on that one, what are your thoughts? I'm sure there'll be loads of like Man United fans and whatnot that want to lay right into Liverpool. It's like I knew it. Knew they were up to something. Yeah. So team, let me know about that. But yeah, well, hit us with the next one.
Right. So, how do you think the pyramids were built?
By people, with a lot of hard work, slaves and all sorts. It was Okay. What
about you, Staton?
Yeah, it's the same basically. Yeah, the same.
So that's what we've been taught in history. But I'm going to give you some facts about the Great Pyramid of Giza. So this is the big boy. So 2.5 million stones were used. These are composed of limestone and granite. Each stone weighed between 2 and 80 tons. And some of the stones were transported from as far away as 500 miles away down the Nile River in a place called Aswan. Now, why would they travel 500 miles for a start? To get materials and then build it 500 miles away from where the material is? That is something I will be telling you. So if they did 10 stones a day placed, it would take them 600 plus years to build. And if they were off by even a fraction of a centimetre, the pyramid wouldn't have been formed and it would have been an awkward shape and not an actual pyramid. It's rumoured to be 4,500 years old. So just think about that with the technology they had. Some people say it's even older at 10,500 BC. And they say that wasn't built by Egyptians because that was before the Egyptian time. So the Great Pyramids are the only surviving great wonder of the ancient world. Now, this is where the conspiracy occurs.
Go on.
Right, here we go. Dimensions of the pyramid. The height of the Great Pyramid times 43,200 equals the polar radius of the Earth. So if you times the height of the pyramid by 43,200, it would be half of the Earth.
Right. I need to ask,
precisely.
Where are you getting the 43,000?
Getting into that.
All right.
Right.
Let's be.
Yep. The base perimeter of the Great Pyramid times the magical 43,200 equals the equatorial circumference. So if you basically times the Great Pyramid by 43,200, you would have the Great Pyramid would be as high as half of the Earth precisely and as wide as along the equator.
I'll
So
I'll
it
get the
matches
image
the
up for
scale.
this for people that.
Yeah,
that
it's on the image.
yeah.
So you're asking why 43,200? That is a good question. This is the key motion of the Earth's axis. So it's the precession of the Earth's axis, and the Earth wobbles very slowly at the rate of 1 degree every 72 years. Right. And 72 is a denomination of 43,200. But also, so you know how it's half of the height of Earth, and also across equator, which is half at the width.
Yeah.
There is 43,200 seconds in 12 hours, which is half a day. Is that a coincidence? I think not.
Oh, that's you know what? That's hard hitting. That's
Wait, so the 43,000, where's that number actually come from then?
So they say it's to do with the axis wobble
Right.
every 72 years. So you know, like the North and South Pole. So it goes out by a degree every 72 years.
Right.
And obviously 72 goes into 43,200. So it'd be like 72 years and then another section of 72 years. So it'd be how many times that 72? Then it's also exactly the same as the amount of seconds in half a day. Exactly. Which I find to be quite coincidental.
You know what it is? There's definitely this has been thought about. This is
Exactly.
definitely don't get me wrong. This is absolutely there is there has been a research put into this.
And you imagine Egyptians building this, they wouldn't care about the length. You just have Egyptians whipping slaves doing this. Why would the slaves measure it to the nearest centimetre like that? How would they be able to control that?
It's
you see,
it's
also
difficult for me to give you an explanation.
It is. Also, the Great Pyramid is aligned with true north. Now, true north is the scale up to the North Pole, so the line up to the North Pole from the equator, to a 3/60th of a degree difference. Now, that means fuck all. And the Earth's axis shifts, so it was probably more accurate than 3/60ths off. And it's also located right at the centre of Earth's landmass. So if you went from all four corners of the pyramid and went lines around the world, it would be the point with the most landmass that's obtained with those lines. So it's bang in the centre of all land. And I just can't explain how technology 4,500 years ago would be able to know that and all this stuff.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm struggling to give you a reason as to why not. I'm not saying that I am doubting the fact that the Egyptians made these pyramids. I just don't have an explanation as to an alternative.
Yeah, I'm not saying they didn't. I'm just saying they might have had help from a higher being, maybe aliens. Maybe they had more knowledge than we have, and maybe we don't give them the benefit of the doubt, and we don't understand how clever they actually were.
See, the speculative thing about, don't get me wrong, right? I fully believe in the universe somewhere there is definitely going to be other life. That it just seems like mathematically impossible that there wouldn't be. Judging by how big the universe is.
Yeah.
But it was the fact is if you go 12 light years away or something like that, if you point a telescope at the Earth, you'll see dinosaurs.
Yeah, you'd see 12 years ago because it's a light year. So if you look from 360
maybe you wouldn't see
million,
dinosaurs then.
But you'd see us 12 years ago today.
Yeah, that's the point where I'm kind of I don't know, because if people I say people on you go, mate. Continue.
So talking about light years and the speed of light. So they measured in something called cubits and not inches. So they were even more advanced than we are today. And one cubit was the size of a block. And 1 cubit, the measurement, also equals 1/25 millionth of the polar diameter. Exactly. So distance from north to south, if you had 25 million cubits, 25 million blocks that they used in the pyramids, it would equal the Earth's height, basically.
My head's frazzled. I don't know about you, James.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. A bit complicated. Oh, I've got one last one. So the length of the pyramid is 365.242 cubits. And what else is 365?
Days in a year.
Yes. Earth, like the Earth's rotation around the sun is 365 days and 0.242 days, quarter of a day. It's 365 days and a quarter. Exactly. So the length matches up with the rotation of the Earth around the sun. And then the speed of... Right, one last thing. The speed of light, if you take the north coordinate of the Great Pyramid, it is 29.979245 degrees north. The speed of light is 299,792,458, the same as the north, meters per second.
I don't have. I mean, I'm looking forward to editing this and seeing James's face.
Mate, I'm sat here puzzled. My tongue's been out and everything, mate. Trust me.
They've got the speed of light in the measurement. They've got the years. Well, they've got the day in a year, the amount of days in a year. They've got the diameter. They've got the equator, and they've got the radius, all in this measurement of the Great Pyramid, without knowing that they're on a planet. To our understanding,
the thing I have, right, is if they had some sort of help from some, space, whatever, I don't know, whatever, surely they would have left some sort of mark to say, oh, look, this is ours, this. And then it'll come back at some point in the future, right?
Hieroglyphics. I've sent a picture of hieroglyphics that have advanced technology drawings.
I mean, I see a helicopter. I see like someone you see there was the Jepsons, is it?
Yeah, it looks like a plane.
Yeah.
It looks like a car as well. Like, I can see like from the hieroglyphics maybe. I mean, I also don't know if that's necessarily some child's like doodlings, as in someone's just put it etched it in, but No,
it's a legit picture from the tomb, from the pyramid.
But I'm presuming they weren't flying helicopters and planes, though. Surely they weren't.
Honestly, our understanding of their civilization, I don't think we understand what they were capable of.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. So the bit above on the hieroglyphics, that image that's in the middle right, it kind of. So obviously, I was telling you while we were doing the setup thing that I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast where he has the guy in from Area 51, and he talks about this. I'm not gonna lie. He talks about the flying saucer. Thing, and that kind of looks like the kind of.
Kind of looks like it.
Yeah, like. Don't get me wrong, like that. Like, there's a correlation there. The problem with me, whenever someone says a flying saucer kind of thing, I'm immediately thinking, it's like a 70s film or something like that. It's like it's a puppet. I'm kind of like, I don't know about that. Like, why are we saying aliens are going for flying saucers? I don't know about you. I just prefer the ones that are filled with sherbet, to be honest. That's where it loses me. Whenever I see like that kind of that image of the saucer, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think maybe governments are just trivializing it just to make it look stupid.
Yeah, I also have to say, how do we know as well that this wasn't planted? That hieroglyphic there, someone's just decided.
Could have been.
I'm planting a conspiracy here. Now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
the maths about the pyramids. It's kind of mad.
There's also a lot of things in the pyramids that's a lot easier to understand.
With building a pyramid, right? they would have
Yeah.
had thousands of people doing it. So there'd be like checkpoints, right? You're carrying it to that point, then you're going back. You're carrying it to that point, and eventually, you know what I mean? They'd have thousands of people doing it, like absolutely
Yeah,
thousands.
but some of the stuff. So in some of the chambers, they had 70-ton granite blocks, like the lined the chambers, like the king's chambers, with these 70-ton granite beams, and some of them are 350 foot above the ground, and to build a ramp to get that up would have been as big as the pyramid. So you can't push that sort of weight above a 10-degree ramp, and therefore the ramp, it couldn't have been made of sand from that area because it would have just broken from the weight of the granite blocks. So where's the ramp?
Yeah.
There's no reason. There's no.
I mean, to be
left
fair as
over
well,
of a ramp.
we don't know fully everything that would have gone on in Egyptian times, because there's a lot of like speculation. Like people were saying, like the Egyptians were in many ways, like in some ways, were smarter than like the Romans, but obviously the Romans were also invented a lot of things as well. So there's like we don't know fully, like
We don't know.
yeah. I mean, without us building a bloody time machine, I don't know what else we're really gonna know.
A few light years.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, I know full well there was a time machine. You'd be first one on there. get me to Egypt right now.
I'd love to see it.
Just you there, just you and your who knows? Maybe your conservatory's a time machine. We don't know about it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's as hot as one. Bloody hell. Boiling.
I'll follow the next couple of days.
What's that?
I'll follow the next couple of days with the weather.
Oh,
that conservatory, mate.
Like a microwave, like a Rustler's burger in there. Horrendous. But I just got to ask a question. Why do you think the pyramids were built?
I mean,
why?
They were made for tombs, were they not?
So you think that they'd make those massive, precise pyramids just for that?
I thought it was a prison, like they imprison people in it at some point.
I think.
I think the pharaohs just had like overcompensating. Like, my pyramid's bigger than your pyramid, kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe. that's what you get taught in history. But the blocks that are there are made from granite and limestone, and granite is made of something called silica, which is silicon, which is in microchips, and that obviously conducts electricity. And also limestone does as well. So if you look at the top of the pyramids, you could see there might have been something on top of the pyramids, and it might have to do with something with electricity beaming from the pyramids, because they're a massive conductor of electricity, the whole building. So
sounds like a COD Zombies Easter egg.
Yeah, you could just shoot electricity up into the sky.
Yeah.
Oh. Jeez, oh man, just get the fly trap on, get to play the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got on the pyramids. I don't know what you boys think.
Oh,
it is mine.
It's really hard to disagree with you, because I'm like, I don't have an alternative other than the fact that maybe they just had a lot of geezers just making these pyramids, Like I don't know about you, James.
I don't know. I feel like if they'd have built it or whatever, like what between 4,000 and 10,000 years ago, was it?
Well, yeah, about that, yeah.
They would have came back at some point. They surely would have come back. If something had done that, if I'd made like a big massive pyramid and got stuff sorted out, I'd have went back at some point.
Well,
I always would have.
Well, yeah, this is where like obviously I was talking about the Joe Rogan thing, but they're on about the aliens at Area 51 and all that. Like that's what they talk about. But I'm still very speculative about that and whatnot. Like,
it's all right.
Yeah,
it's good to be skeptical, because then.
Yeah, again, same with the conspiracy theory about kind of Liverpool. You've not quite got me on that one, just because I'm kind of like.
What about you, Jimmy? With any?
No, not yet.
Like yeah.
But I'm an open book. I'm ready.
Yeah, it's the fact that it's the Jepson spacecraft that's got me as well. And I'm like looking at it, going, I see the cartoon when I'm looking at it, like.
We'll go to the pyramid as a group. and we'll see that.
Yeah, that'll be
Yeah, go on.
that'll be where my content creation house will be. We'll
Yeah.
just
BridgeCon 26, mate.
Aye, jeez,
Yeah. It'll have good internet, to be fair. It's all electric. So.
yeah, BRB guys, just hook my PC up to the pyramid.
Plug it into the wall, literally, and it'll be fun.
Oh man. Oh, I've just realised my my camera has died, so I'll have to put one of yous on the screen of the wall while I fix that.
That's all right.
But yeah, if you want to, I don't know when that died during that, so that could happen.
Yeah. So I'll move on to. So you've heard of the Illuminati?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a meme, isn't it? Like, just
Yeah.
take the piss. But have you heard of the Rothschild family?
No.
So this is what is behind, what people say is behind the Illuminati. So the Illuminati was formed in the 18th century in Europe.
Right.
And who do I think is the leader? And a lot of people, the Rothschild family. Now, who are they? They have a net worth of $400 billion, and they're an international banking family originating from Germany. The founder of this was Mayer Rothschild. He had 5 sons. Coincidence, there was 5 people that started the Illuminati.
Right.
And in this time, it was around the 18th century and 19th century. So they took and they capitalized on the Industrial Revolution. So they took advantage of oil, metals, and the banking sector. And their clientele in 1825 was the UK government, France, and the rest of Europe. And what they were doing was financing wars. So governments were borrowing money off them and using it to fight each other.
Right.
Financing was common in wars, and they used to launder money. So rich people would give them money, and they'd spend the money giving it to governments and launder the money, basically. Interesting one. Battle of Waterloo. Do you know what that is? Heard of that one?
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it was just basically a battle between Napoleon, who was invading England in 1815, and one of the sons, Nathan Rothschild, sent people to watch the battle from a hill, basically just to see how it was getting on.
Right.
I know. This is true. This is all true.
It's like going to the cinema and getting your 3D glasses.
I know.
It's like, yeah.
And basically, the agents informed Nathan of who was going to win. So they just looked at the battle and thought, oh yeah, France are fucked. UK are winning this. But because there was no internet or letters or anything, it would have taken 20 hours of the result of the battle to get to London from the army. But Nathan got this information early, and he put out a rumour to the London Stock Exchange that Napoleon had won. So the opposite of what was actually happening.
Right.
The London Stock Exchange experienced a 98% crash.
Yeah.
Which basically just fucked everyone. And the Rothschild family bought all that up, bought the economy for literally pennies. So basically they owned everything. So yeah, that's a pretty mad one to start with.
That is, I mean, it's clever. Don't get me wrong.
It is clever.
That is elite tier kind of scam artist kind of
Shithousery
level. But sending people to watch a battle.
Yep.
I'm just picturing some.
I don't know if it was from a hill.
Yeah, I'm just picturing some geezer in his bloody VIP seats from Cineworld, just just up there with the popcorn, just this is class. I could feel the air and everything. I'm just like, jeez, oh man.
Well, they basically lied about a battle to make millions and billions.
Yeah, they lied about who was winning and who would have won. They put out a rumour, made loads of money from it, bought up all the stocks that everyone was selling because they thought France is taking over England.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how this started with the UK. So once that happened, the UK was under their control, and the UK's fucked because they own everything. And then 100 years later, in 1913, they set up something called the Fed. Have you ever heard of the Fed? Federal Reserve Bank?
I mean, I've heard of it.
So, Jimmy, you're into crypto.
Right.
XR. There's a crypto called XRP, and they're currently having a lawsuit with the Fed.
Right.
To see, just about, certain things they've done. But the Fed was founded by the Rothschild family, and it's an independent company, apparently, that controls and regulates US money supply and policies. So it can affect crypto, it can affect government policies, the supply of money from the government. And the president, so Donald Trump or Joe Biden, could choose the board. But in the end, the Rothschild family has a bigger influence, and it doesn't really matter who's on the board. They control it.
You already know it's fucked because the way they got in that position in the first place was by lying about a fucking battle going on. So the fact they lied about that made an absolute fortune, and now they're in charge. Like, that's crazy.
But because it's an independent company, everyone thinks, oh yeah, it's like they're doing the right thing. But at the end of the day, they could do whatever they want.
They're basically doing what's best for them, basically.
Yep. So that they just do whatever they want. Whatever benefits them. And they financed the US and Europe industrialization. So we've got like the Victorian times. They financed all of that, loan money to the governments. They financed the Suez Canal in Egypt, which is a big transportation for ships.
Right.
And they also founded a company called De Beers in 1888, which is the largest diamond mining company. So they have control of all the diamonds as well, which you just love to see.
And I'm carried by a bloody house, man. These guys are these guys are buying all the diamonds, not just one or two, all the time.
Everything. And just honestly, it gets worse. So in 1987, Edmund Rothschild created the World Conservation Bank to control land of third world countries. So it'd be the Bank of Third World Countries. And their bank assumed the debts of all the countries. So they took on all the debts. All the countries like, yep, sweet. In exchange for all of the country's real estate. So all of the land. So they'd pay off the debts. And this equates to 30% of the total land service on Earth. So they have control of that. So like all of Africa, screwed.
Oh, man.
And then in 1995, they monopolized the uranium reserves, and they had 80% of it all, and therefore they monopolized nuclear power. So all the nuclear bombs, nuclear power is all monopolized by them. And then in 2001, there was a few countries that didn't have a Rothschild influence on their banks and weren't controlled by them. These were China, Iran, Afghanistan, North Korea, Sudan, Cuba, and Libya. Now, what do they all have all in common?
Yeah.
America fucking hates them, and so does the rest of the world. So, Afghanistan, war in 2001 by the US and the rest of the world. Libya, the leader was killed in 2011, still ongoing the war. China, mate, China and USA hate each other. And Sudan also has an ongoing conflict, civil wars, etc. All of them have now got Rothschild banks. The only ones that are left is Iran, North Korea, and Syria. And they're all in conflict with the Western world, which are probably going to get taken over by the Rothschild banking. So that's how they control all the banks, basically.
So basically what you tell me is there's one family just basically controls the entire world.
Yep. And have you ever seen Squid Game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the near the end where the leaders go in masks?
Oh, no, watching. Yeah.
Yep. There was a party in 1972. So Squid Game basically referenced and were basically calling out the Rothschild family. And I spud a picture, and they're all wearing like animal reindeer masks, stuff like that. Squid Game just
put it on screen. I mean, that's a mad mask. That looks real and all.
Yeah, it probably is.
What? So it was just a normal party, yeah? There was no one getting killed or anything. There's no like.
There's probably a lot of bad shit going on.
Yeah.
Like Jeffrey Epstein sort of stuff.
Yeah.
We won't get into that. Now, what happens if you go against the Rothschild family? Right. Do you know anyone that has been assassinated?
No, but I feel like I might do if we keep going on about this on my podcast.
JFK. Is this JFK?
Oh yeah, we're getting taken out. What is it? Why is it staying? Sorry.
JFK must be.
Oh, jackpot. JFK.
Oh, I'm so smart, man. Honestly.
He issued an executive order of 11110 which tried to transfer power, some of the power, from the Fed, which the Rothschild own, to the US Treasury, giving the government more power. This was issued on June the 4th, 1963.
Right.
Guess what else happened that year?
He got assassinated.
He got assassinated on November the 22nd, 1963. And in 1964, the order was halted and never went through.
Wasn't like a massive cover up as well on like how it happened and all this. And then was it Jack Ruby or something? I can't remember what his name was. He got done for it, even though it wasn't him or something. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't remember the full logistics
I'm
or
not
whatever.
It's one of the most controversial incidences in history, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like there's so much going on about like kind of JFK and stuff like that, and then all these things came out about him afterwards and all sorts.
So what do you guys think about that?
I mean, you know what? In that one, I can believe that a family basically owns the entirety of. I mean, don't get me wrong, it loses me a bit with like these geezers sitting on a hill watching the war.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But
it makes sense though on how they got there though.
Yeah,
like, it's logistic reason. That's probably the one I'm out of the three you've told me so far. That's the one I believe the most so far.
Decent. Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, I can believe like some geezer's just got like controls the entire world domination. He's actually done it.
So where are they? Do you know what I mean? Where are they now? Like right here, right now.
The Rothschild family.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Just I think I'm not too sure. They've got like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
The base Mr. Burns on basically the leader of the Rothschild family at the moment.
Oh.
So. You know how Simpsons has loads of conspiracies?
Yeah, and they always turn out to be true.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That one.
I mean,
yeah, they just live in really rich places, like on islands and stuff, so.
Jeez, oh man. It's alright for some, innit? Just give us a house.
Oh, yeah.
You think I could just write to them and say, listen, can you give me a house?
Yep.
Save the world.
It's just 10 subs, lad.
Oh, jeez, oh man. I don't know what to say, but it's kind of like this family just owns the entire world, and I'm just like sit in my parents' house in my office, absolutely sweating my bollocks off, trying to make a podcast and hope that maybe I can live off it one day. Who knows? But it's like these guys just sitting on mounts of money, all because they fixed a war.
Basically, they just got so much power from it, and all they want is power. So if they see a country that doesn't have their banking, so you see like Afghanistan, what might have they have done to cause a war in Afghanistan?
Big old banking.
Was it not to do with oil, wasn't it?
Someone to do something in 2001.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
So and then you've got like all the propaganda against China. I'm not saying China's a horrific country. North Korea, Iran. Yeah. So
it's a mad, like them controlling war as well. It's just like like I could believe that, to be honest. I can believe that like people are like the puppet master just creating events around the world, like these massive points of history. That I can definitely believe.
Sounds like a film.
It does. It does. It sounds like a TV series almost, doesn't it? Like one that you've just been watching for ages, and then you're waiting for the next season to come out. It's kind of it is mad.
Could be a Netflix series.
It could.
Bang.
It could in the next Bundy series, one that everyone goes on about. But yeah, I can believe it. Like that I'll put it on that one. I can definitely believe that one. Right.
Yeah, most of that one's facts. So
Yeah, exactly. If there's facts involved, it's definitely more believable.
Yeah.
Like definitely more like to get on side with.
Yeah. Do you want me to go with another one? I've got one more.
Yeah,
go on.
Yeah, go for it. I know a little bit about your next one that you're going to go over.
Right. So Spud, you've heard of Operation Paperclip?
I have heard of the end, like the outcome of it. I don't know the whole shebang.
Okay. Have you Staton?
Operation Paperclip.
Yep.
So somebody piece of paper you can clip together.
Nah, not quite,
Sorry,
mate.
bad joke. Sorry, bad
Bit
joke.
different.
And you have a go at me. For my
sorry.
jokes.
It was there. It was presented in front of me. I had to go for it. I have to. Go on, Will, take it away.
Man.
So, it's about the amount of Germans that are in South America at the moment. And the US had an operation which has been exposed and published as factual. That they had an operation called Operation Paperclip, which was the secret US intelligence program in which 1,600 Nazi scientists, engineers, technicians were taken from Germany and employed at the end of World War II until around 1959 in the US government. Now, one of these was a man called Werner von Braun, who was a good friend of Adolf Hitler, and he was also the Nazi rocket technology leader, and he dreamed of going to the moon. So you can see why the US would take someone like that.
Is this the image that you've put before?
Yeah, so there's an image of this Werner von Braun with JFK, and basically it was his rocket that went to the moon.
Do you know which one it is on the image?
It was, I've got it written down. Give me just a second.
In the middle of that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was the Saturn V rocket.
No, but you know which guy it is in that image with JFK?
Oh yeah, Werner von Braun.
Yeah. Is he the one on the left, one in the middle?
Let's have a look.
Because what I'll do is I'll highlight it as well so everyone
Oh,
can see.
it's the one in the middle.
One in the middle, yeah. Yeah, I'll highlight it.
JFK, the one on the right.
Aye, yeah. Oh, well, yeah. If you don't know that, it's JFK. He was the president that we were talking about before. That, basically did something that the supervillains didn't like.
Yeah, there's a lot of these scientists. So another one was Surgeon General of the Third Reich. Sounds like a lovely man. His name was Dr. Walter Schreiber, and he was brought in to lead vaccine research. So he's the head of vaccines and other science programs in Nazi Germany. And he was brought into the US to help vaccine research. He was a very horrible man, and he got outed because he was that fucked. And he moved to Argentina, which, we'll find out that a lot of other Germans did that in that time. So there's two places that you can Google if you're listening or watching. And I've sent a picture to Spud.
Yeah.
One of them is called La Compressita. Now, if you look at that image, where do you think that is?
I mean, it looks like
What
it's...
country?
I would say it's like either Chile or Argentina. Like it's one
You're
of
not supposed to say that, Spud. You're supposed to say Germany. Oh, fuck.
It's in America.
Like, don't get me wrong, I can see where like the German aspects are with it. Like when you're looking at the door frames. And I know it's a weird one to say, but I've got I've got kind of German vibes from it. And some of the art on the wall kind of seems a little bit like you reminds me of German markets. That's what it reminds me of, because I've been to a few, and that's where I get the vibe from it. The big pillars coming up kind of reminds me again. So yeah, I can see where the vibes come from.
There's also another place called Colonia Dignidad. Now this was a really fucked up place. This was they carried on a Nazi regime in a place in Chile. So that was really fucked. So if you want to give that a Google, I won't go into much detail about that.
Right.
But yeah, that was pretty bad. There's also an article in the Daily Mail which said that German prosecutors who examined secret files from Brazil and Chile discovered that as many as 9,000 Nazi officers, collaborators, escaped to South America after the war. So, and that was published in the Daily Mail in 2012. And there was 1,500 to 2,000 in Brazil of Nazi war criminals. Chile, there was about 500 to 1,000. And in Argentina, there was about 5,000 that escaped there. Argentine president after the war established escape routes through Spain and Italy through the ports. He also did the same as the US and recruited them to help with the Cold War at the time. And there was a man called Joseph Mengele. His personal journal, was found on a beach in Brazil in 1979. And this man was also lovely. He was named the Angel of Death in Germany in World War II. And he conducted inhumane medical experiments in Auschwitz and was known for his experiments on twins, which were really screwed up. Which, if you want to Google them.
I think I'll pass on Googling that.
That's all right. And basically, the Brazilian government took him in. He married a Brazilian woman, and he worked for the government. So, they obviously didn't see him as a bad man.
That's actually crazy, man.
It's all factual as well.
It's crazy what people do. It's against his power, isn't it? It's having power. It's just mental.
That's it. And the government's just take them just to help themselves, even though what they've done is horrendous.
Yeah, it's. I don't know what to say. It's like you've got all the worst of the worst people in the world, and you're just like
the Angel of Death.
Angel of Death. Hey, I'm Simply Spud. Oh, you're the Angel of Death. Are you? Oh, yeah, perfect. That sounds like something.
I'm Simply Spud. Right.
Simply Angel of Death.
It sounds like a Twitch name, right? You know what I mean?
I'm Simply Spud. Don't pack opening.
It's you know what I mean? Like it just sounds like a Twitch name or a Xbox gamer tag.
A League of Legends player.
Yeah.
Angel of Death.
Angel of Death.
Hey,
man.
we went the Angel of the North up here.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that means something different.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. Fingers crossed.
I
otherwise, I'm fucked.
I don't get where how they get to Argentina and stuff. Like they're in the middle of the war, and yet they go to Argentina.
So basically, they knew they were fucked, and they thought, so before they were getting fully invaded by the rest of the world, they just got escape routes, and Spain and Italian governments were helping them, so they just bribe them, or the governments would bribe them.
So that's why on that image, I'll bring the image up again. You've seen the Spanish and Italian flags. Yep. Right. Yeah.
And Germany, yeah. So you've probably got a lot of people from those countries as well. And if you go to these towns in these places, they've all got pictures of Germans, all their ancestors. And I don't know if they're nice people, but
I'm sure it's actually a nice place to visit now, but it's probably probably wasn't maybe about 30, 40 years ago.
Probably not.
Yeah. But it's just mad, isn't it? Like these governments taking in these horrible people, thinking that let us just line our pockets. It's like the Roswell family that you're on about. It's just let's control war. No, let's control these people. I mean, the point where you were talking about the guy, this horrible man that's in control of vaccines.
Yeah. So he was put into vaccine research,
which is just
Walter Schreiber.
Yeah, let's just get the most horrible man that we know of to help us fight diseases. Which
I think, what would he do to them? Is he the most?
It makes you think, is he creating these diseases, which then opens up another can of worms?
Yeah, we won't go into that.
Yeah, it's questionable. I mean, there was another image that you put in the.
Was that the one of Adolf Hitler?
Yeah.
So you can clip this, right?
Yeah.
Adolf Hitler was alive in South America till the age of 94. He was married, and there was a man called the Old German in a place called Nossa Senhora do Livramento, not the right back from Southampton.
Right.
And he was in Brazil. He was known to all the people around him, and he died in 1984 of old age. And the picture is the one I sent you. It's a terrible picture, so I'm not convinced about this one. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
But his name was Adolf Leipzig. I mean, if your name's Adolf, I don't know why he's gone with Adolf again. But, and apparently Leipzig, obviously not the football team, is the birthplace of his favourite composer, Bach. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of...
We'll say that's the right pronunciation.
Yeah, I think so. And do you know how Hitler died?
Well, this is the thing. It was a lot of people that didn't actually weren't convinced. It was like, was it dental records or something like that they kind of
Yeah, so there was
identified him
no
by?
remains found by the Soviet Union. It
Mhm.
was only his dental records that proved it was him. So there was no body. He didn't burn. He didn't go to another place. He was there apparently, and he shot himself. Gave his wife a cyanide pill. But surely, if you've shot yourself, there would be remainders of a body.
Yeah.
And also, dental records could be amended, so his dental record could be of someone else, and they put someone else's teeth there that match that record.
Yeah, like this is where like I definitely believe about them like moving to other countries, because
Yeah,
the fact there was no confirmed body for Adolf Hitler, the fact there was no like this is him, this is the geezer we've been looking for.
yeah.
You know, not me just amending the bloody Star Wars thing. These are not the droids you're looking for. You just showed up how big a nerd I am. But like, yeah, I mean, I struggle to believe that he'd be married in like Brazil and whatnot, considering like all the ideals that he stood for. Which
Yeah,
that
he apparently married someone that was a different race to himself as well, which I don't particularly think a
believe,
man with
yeah,
those sort of morals would.
No way.
yeah,
Yeah.
considering what he was like spouting and all sorts, I find it hard to believe. I
Yeah,
mean,
the
like,
last bit. I
like
don't really
it is
believe.
possible. I mean, it's the fact that also the image, like, is pixely as anything.
Yeah, it's not a good image.
So that I mean that the Argentina one I do know is correct, because like it's not the first. This is, I've heard this a couple times, and they also came up on like Top Gear and stuff like that, where they went through this town, and said it was famous for the fact that they found all these Nazi generals and stuff like that here. So that I did know was correct. I find it hard to know how they actually get out of Germany when it's in the middle of a war. That I find hard to believe. But then like I can see like, oh yeah, it's Spain, Italy, because like Italy was on the side of Germany, wasn't it?
It was for most of the war, yeah.
Yeah.
Before it.
Yeah, and I think I mean I don't know if Spain was. I don't think they were. I don't think they really took.
I think Spain was pretty neutral.
Yeah, that's what
I didn't really do much.
Yeah, that's what I was convinced of as well. But I mean, again, I'm kind of speaking from the fact that I don't really know all this, so again, it's hard for me to say anything.
Yeah, we don't really know. It's just a conspiracy. But the fact that there's all these Europeans in Chile means there's something.
Yeah.
Something there.
But were you not saying as well before that that NASA was made up of a lot of people? I'll let you continue on that.
Yeah. So a lot of those 1,600 Nazis were scientists. That Werner von Braun picture with JFK was the head of NASA.
Yeah.
At the time that they were developing the rocket.
Hmm.
So I think America was so sure on trying to get the first rocket that they just did anything they could. And if that means employing Nazi scientists, that's what they did. And obviously, they didn't get done for war crimes because they were working for the US government. They're all pardoned and just lived a normal life.
Jeez,
that's actually crazy.
Yeah. Like it's mad to think as well that they took a rocket to the moon with the kind of.
But did they?
Oh.
I'm not going to talk about that one. But, yeah.
That could be part 2.
I completely forgot about that one. Like I completely forgot about that.
I don't believe in it, to be honest, but
yeah, near do I. I mean, I've seen the images and stuff like that of like that space boot and stuff like that.
Yeah, every image of Earth isn't actually a real image. It's just made up of a load of images. So no picture is actually 100% real, and it uses like AI to make the rest of it.
Sorry, what?
So no image you see of the Earth is actually 100% authentic. That's just the image. Like every image of the Earth has had some tampering. I'm not saying
that can't be real.
It is. Honestly, Google it.
I don't believe that one.
Honestly.
You've just laid this bombshell on us all of a sudden. Just say that, oh yeah, the Earth isn't actually. This is like flat Earth conspiracy.
Oh no, I don't believe in flat Earth.
You know, I remember seeing what was it? This guy was going up to a footballer called Lee Griffiths, which I'm sure you are aware of. And he went up to him while he was in his car, and went up to him and said, "Right, you right, Lee? Do you believe in bendy water?" It was just like, it's like bendy water. Yeah, water doesn't bend, does it? And it's like, no. So then, how can the world be round if water doesn't bend? And so he was trying to convince him of the flat Earth by saying there's no such thing as bendy water.
Oh God!
Right.
And I'm just like,
They fucking checking them people, man.
Like it. Oh man, it's bendy water. I mean, in fairness, you see the video; it's hilarious. The way he's trying to convince him of the Earth being flat.
Been on too many planes to know that it's not flat.
Yeah, literally.
You can just see. And also that thing about the pictures, I'm not 100% on that one. Just
He's taking it back.
I've just made myself look stupid. Everything's just false. I've just googled it.
Oh, he tried to stick something in there at the end.
I didn't have any notes on that one. I've got all the notes for the pictures.
Like a school play when you need to do some rehearsal, you haven't done it. You come in and look like a tit.
Yeah.
Oh man. I was like, surely that can't be right. Surely there is a little.
Oh no, I've heard it somewhere. It's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy podcast. I've just thrown
there
it.
You go, yeah. Someone out there will agree with you. Someone will.
Yeah. I'm gonna end up getting all these. I'm gonna get followed by Flat Earth on Twitter now. Just going. No. I heard what you said about bendy water. You're right. There is no such thing as bendy water. It's just like, oh, God's sake, man.
What conspiracies do you guys believe in? Because I'm interested.
I don't think I've got any. You know, I actually don't.
Yeah, I'll let you go, James.
No, carry on. I was just gonna keep waffling, to be honest.
Yeah, I like the Nazi one. I do know is true, and that one, I like the Roswell family one. I'm like, I can believe. I don't know if I do, but I can believe that because it does make sense in a lot of ways. I mean, I've heard a few conspiracies and whatnot. The flat Earth one is absolute nonsense.
Yeah,
but that is just ridiculous. The aliens, I'm still like, I believe there is going to be some sort of like, mathematically it is impossible for there not to be other life out there. There's going to be in another like galaxy where there's like exact same circumstances. There's another Earth there with like, you know, a simply spud that's like 6 foot tall. Like there's gonna be. So it's
the dream.
Yeah. It's this 5'5" midget that's on your screen. You know, it's just it is what it is. I mean that's what I'm hoping for out there. There's another simply spud out there that's 6 foot. You know.
I've got one small one. It's just I haven't got any facts or anything like that. It's just, do we? I'm just again. This is a question. I'm not like thinking, but do we believe there are paranormal like ghosts or anything out there? Like, do you believe it?
Ghosts? No, not in the slightest. I'm being honest.
I watch all these ghost hunter programs, and I think a lot of them are bollocks. But
yeah.
I do think what is a soul? Like, where does it go? Like, we're not just like, you see, like I'm looking at my book. Like, that has no soul. So it's just going to disintegrate into the ground. But apparently we just disintegrate into the ground.
Wait. You compare someone's life to a book.
Yeah, so you've got a book that doesn't have a conscience. Where does your conscience go?
Yeah,
like,
I know what you mean.
Like your energy from your body. Like, that must go somewhere, surely.
Like an afterlife, is that what you're trying to... Yeah.
Yeah, like...
I just don't believe in ghosts or like the kind of paramount kind of... I'm not believing in any Final Destination bollocks, you know. It's just like, yeah, the ghost stuff for me just seems like absolute nonsense. I couldn't believe that people would then go chasing these ghosts about, getting these devices. Like, you get these these Ouija boards and stuff like that, and I'm like, nah, I'm alright. I don't believe that. And if there was ghosts, I wouldn't want to know that they're there because that's just creepy as anything. I don't want to know that there's some died geezer that's watching me sleep, trying to go, whoa, you know. It's
There's a film, isn't there? Is it The Conjuring? I think it is. They're all
Yeah.
based off of supposedly real life like happenings.
Yeah.
But yeah, whether you believe it or not is another thing. I don't know. Probably not for me. But
I feel like you feel like a certain sort of energy in different places.
yeah.
People have died.
I think
So
there's-
maybe.
I think there's just these people on LSD, to be honest, just seeing things, thinking,
Wow.
"Oh yeah, you know."
Yeah.
I don't believe it in the slightest, personally. I think you're getting hallucinogenics and stuff like that. You know, like the likes of magic mushrooms and stuff like that. I
Do you
think
know
it's,
about
I think that's
DMT?
where a lot of these stories come from. They've seen stuff on these trips and they're
Yeah.
carrying it over. That's personally what
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, I don't know if you think my conspiracy there is right. You know, you think it's just because I know full well the likes of heroin and stuff like that was all commonly taken years ago. So like there was a lot of hallucinogenics like commonly used. So that's where I'm like that's where I think a lot of these like kind of ghost stories and stuff like that come from.
Yeah, they all are back in the day, and they're not like present.
Yeah.
It's like all the UFO sightings are mostly back in the day.
Yeah.
Just these guys getting pro.
So we've debunked it to people beyond heroin, right?
Yep.
Right, nice. Well,
Take heroin.
no, don't do that.
We are
Don't do
not
that.
endorsing this in the slightest. Don't do drugs, kids. It's oh wow, but I mean that's where I think a lot of these stories come from personally. But I mean that is just my view. I mean obviously a lot of people got their own views on it, and I am sure there is probably unexplainable circumstances that have happened, but like, do I think there's a ghost out there? Is there Casper out there just moving shit? You know, I don't think so. You know, it's.
I'm with you. I'm open to believing, but I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just one of them.
I would say unless I see it myself, but I'm in that circumstance where I do not want to see it.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I don't want to see some like headless,
Nope.
you know, melon coming at me.
Nope.
I'm
Headless melon.
headless melon, yeah. Coming at me.
I think if you wish to see something enough, you'll see it. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that also it opens up another can of worms about these stories. You know, you want to see something
Yeah.
enough. Yeah, you know, it's yeah.
Gotta be objective.
Yeah, definitely.
See how it is.
But on that note, there, I think we'll call the episode there. Thank you so much, Will, for doing all the legwork on this.
Thanks for listening to me waffle. I appreciate it.
No, mate, it was interesting. It was very very interesting. Kind of gave a lot of good theories. I think you've definitely opened up my mind on the pyramids. I couldn't quite explain, but you've
Yeah,
definitely
it's
you've opened up my mind a little bit. I'm pretty sure James is still a little bit puzzled, to be honest. On some of these.
Yeah,
We go on stream and go, what has just happened then?
I feel like I need to open my head up and just scratch my brain. I don't know. It just feels weird.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
what I want to
edit.
do
I'm
is
just gonna edit
open
James's face, you know, with all these like numbers floating around his head and stuff like that. But yeah, no, thank you so much as well, James, for jumping on as well. And sharing your input as well. It was great to have you on again.
Of course.
And I'm sure we'll have you all both on again at some point as well in the future. Team, if you enjoyed obviously this episode, please do let me know in the comments below if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're also on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, please do follow the podcast. It does all help. And make sure you're checking out the podcast on Twitter at the Simply Pod for any updates or whatnot. We're smashing it on likes of TikTok and kind of YouTube at the moment, so make sure that you're following there. And also these guys, their links will be in descriptions below and also on Spotify, so make sure you're checking them out. You know, we had Chufters on last time and he's grown massively. Not because of the podcast, just because he's a legend. So make sure that you're checking out that podcast. It's really interesting. Yeah, because
all you, mate. All you.
I mean, I didn't want to say it, but you have said it, so clearly it's me. You know. Yeah, I am massive. Just width-wise, unfortunately.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Is that how I'm ending the podcast? Is that how I'm ending it? I am massive. Adios.